The White House is fielding questions about President Biden's news conference last night.
Now, if you saw it, you know he did not hold back his feelings about the special counsel's report, which looked into his handling of classified documents. The president really took issue, though, with the part that said he presented himself as, quote, an elderly man with a poor memory. He said his memory is fine and touted his track record as president, but he also responded to a question about the situation in Gaza and mistakenly called the president of Egypt the president of Mexico.
The conduct of the response in Gaza, in the Gaza Strip, has been over the top. I think that, as you know, initially the president of Mexico, El-Sisi, did not want to open up the gate to allow humanitarian material to get in.
Our senior White House correspondent, Weijia Jiang, is following this story for us. So, Weijia, what has been sort of the fallout from these comments about President Biden's memory?
Well, as you very well know, even before this report came out that detailed the president's memory as the special counsel's team viewed it, there were mounting questions about his age, about his mental fitness. And so this only adds to those questions, although the president himself during that event yesterday made very clear he says that his memory is very good, that it's fine. And he also blasted the report, which is in line with what we have heard from the White House, that says, you know, while the report and its findings and its conclusions are one thing that they are pleased about, they also said that all these details about the president's memories are subjective, that they are not rooted in fact. And it was so glaring to the White House counsel's office, guys, that they actually requested in writing for the special counsel to revise those portions of this report. So as far as the political fallout, we'll have to see whether this changes the way people perceive the president and only adds to those already existing questions about his mental fitness.
You know, I have to give you roses because this news broke on our air yesterday, and you immediately seized on that quote from the 300-plus pages of the special counsel's report and said this is what is potentially most damaging or that he'll take most umbrage with. What was happening behind the scenes at the White House? You were there all day, and they made this decision to hold a last-minute press conference. What can you tell us?
Well, we should mention that on Tuesday, President Biden said that he would be back on Thursday to answer questions. And even though at the time he was talking about the supplemental bill and border security, the fact is, he said he would be back in some capacity on Thursday to talk to reporters. And so while it seemed to be hastily put together in the end, there was always this possibility that he would come out and talk to us about, you know, things other than the report, because we didn't know it was coming out until yesterday. But this was very rare for President Biden to have a press conference during prime time, and one that was announced, you know, less than an hour before it actually happened. And we also know, you know, compared to his predecessors, he's taken far fewer press conferences from reporters. So this was a big deal, and I think it underscores how much the president and the White House wanted to do damage control and defend him when it comes to all these new questions about his memory.
And Weijia, you were there when the president was giving his remarks. What did it feel like in the room?
So this is a rarely used room, and it was very small with a lot of reporters crammed in there. And we were very close to President Biden, probably, you know, 5 or 6 feet away, and you could sense the anger pouring out of him. He was emotional at times, visibly upset, especially when he talked about the part of the report that claimed he could not remember when his son Beau died. And that is the moment where President Biden became most angry and said, how the hell dare he bring that up? And so it was a very tense room, for sure. Probably the tensest that I've been in with President Biden.
All right, Weijia, there in the room where it's happening. Thank you.
Sure.